So this is my usual speaking voice. Most people can probably identify an Australian accent because I do. This is my native dialect, I suppose. When Australians go overseas, I notice that we really broaden out the vowels and start sounding really kind of bogan, which is kind of funny because I think we're just waving the national flag to each other. But most of the time I sound like this. But it's funny, I read Curious George books to our little guy going to sleep and stuff, and he sometimes asks, can you do it with the American voice? And what he's talking about is that because I was born on West 88th Street in New York, I do find it kind of easy to slip into some American twangs, which were probably the first vowels that I actually heard. And so I find when I'm doing this, it's obviously not terribly genuine. A lot of people kind of think it sounds a bit funny, but I find it easy. I do kind of have this odd sort of tendency to slip into the American twang if I'm standing around with a bunch of Americans, or and I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's actually a sort of childhood memory, or these would have been the sort of first vowels I would have heard, I think. And what I do find interesting is that when I stumble like this, when I'm speaking without really knowing what I'm having to say or something like that, it's still kind of easy to sustain that those sort of weird twangy sort of pseudo-Canadian sort of sounds sometimes just pop out. And so I think I've kind of got two accents, one of which is definitely much less genuine than the other. But yeah, they're kind of both there. And when you're reading Curious George and other famous Cat in the Hat sort of stuff, it sounds kind of funny for a little guy who's used to you being an Aussie and sounding like this most of the time.